Hi, my name's Sherry Sanders, and I'm a county extension agent working in White County as a part of the University of Arkansas System Division of Agriculture. And this is Agriculture. Agriculture is a program where we celebrate and empower women working in the field of agriculture in the state of Arkansas. This month's feature is Susan Scarberry. Susan is co-owner of Scarberry Ranch, located in Big Flat, Arkansas, and this is Susan's story.
Benny and I were both very interested in horses. We always had horses. And at points, you know, it was a question of who ate. We fed the horses because we really struggled at first, money-wise. But as time went on, we got better horses. And then Benny started to train roping horses. And I would go to the horse sales, sometimes take our youngest son, often take our youngest son, and we'd find young prospects and buy them, bring them home, and he would train the roping horses and sell those almost always for a profit. So that kept that operation functional for us. And I always wanted broodmares. I always loved the mares. And finally he told me, we'd had a couple of young geldings that were of the Harlan bloodline, and he said, listen, if you really want to do this broodmare thing, find some of these mares that have got Harlan in their pedigree. And I started to look for that. And they were hard to find because Harlan back in the day, back in the 70s, you know, they did all the things on horses. They roped, they ran barrels, they did Western pleasure, and they did halter. And the Harlan horses had a lot of speed. They were really pretty horses. And they crossed a lot of them on the halter bloodlines, which is not what we wanted. So I called AQHA and they gave me the name of Bob Robey out in Oklahoma. And I got his phone number and I called him, and I can remember that just as well. Told him who I was, what I was looking for, and he was quiet for a minute and he said, well, Harlan is buried back here in my backyard. I had found the man. He owned him most of his life. He knew where those old mares were in this pasture and that pasture. And I had such a great time going with him and Mrs. Robey around. We'd go to different towns and he'd visit with his friend, and then he'd say, now what about such and such mare? And would get her picked up for me. We just had a blast. My only regret is that I didn't record every word they said, because they told so many stories that are just, I mean, they were there. They saw those famous horses. He rode them. He was an AQHA judge, so he judged them in different shows. Just tremendous history. And he put us in the business.